Welcome to this TikTok Six Nations clash of Italy and Ireland in Parma. These two teams have both lost their two matches so far, and while there was a heavy defeat for Italy at the hands of England on game day 2, they actually ran France quite close on match day 1. This is not a venue that Ireland have very happy memories of, losing out on the chance to qualify for the World Cup. While the last time they met Italy on Italian soil in the Six Nations, the hosts won 29-27. Both will see this match as winnable, but who will be victorious we'll soon find out. As we can see from the temperature, former Ireland international Lindsay Peat, the heat is on, literally and metaphorically.
Oh, God. Yep, it's a big day. Both teams are come on the back of a loss, and I think whoever comes through today with a win will kickstart their championship, and they'll look to finish on a high.
Ireland won well last year, as you can see, when they met, but this is a very different Italian team. There's a bit of confidence about them since their good World Cup showing. They got to the quarter-final, played well in that last 8 as well.
Yeah, and we were probably, like, when we went to the qualifiers, we were hoping to qualify top of that pool. But it was the Italians who prevailed, so they must come into this draw with huge confidence, and obviously mixed in their first two matches, but they're rightly so being tipped as favourites.
Well, the sun is out. There's no excuses for bad handling errors or anything like that. The ball will be dry. The conditions are good. There's a travelling support coming to get behind Ireland. Italy, well, as we say, lost heavily against England, but played very well against France on the first day. And I know people will say France made errors, but actually Italy forced them into them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're playing defence or you're playing any team, you want to put them to their plan B or plan C. And that's what Italy did against France. And actually, Italy have been France's bogey team through it, and actually beat France in a World Cup qualifier, World Cup test match leading up to New Zealand this year. So they are probably a team who are unpredictable, very like their French. The French themselves, you just don't know what team is going to show up today.
And they need a bit of structure. I think we saw that against England. We perhaps saw it at times against the French as well. Is today the day where they find that structure? If they do, Ireland could be in a spot of bother.
They could be. And do you know what? I'd like to reference Capuzzo for the Italian men. What you love to see is a man or a player who just loves their rugby. And I think the Italians aren't afraid to express themselves, you know. And if they do that today, we'll be in trouble.
Well, we'll get the team news very shortly. The fans enjoying the warm-up here. The fans getting the selfies, enjoying the occasion. A great occasion in Cork a couple of weeks ago at Musgrave Park. The fans travelled then as they have now. And this is kind of becoming the, well, if not the unofficial home of Italian rugby, one of the home bases of Italian rugby. Familiar to URC fans as where Zebre play. And of course, this is where the Italian national women's team are making their home. What would be going through the head of the Irish players right now, knowing that they've had two bad defeats, but this is a game where they're expected to win?
See, the thing about it is we have won 15 out of 16 test matches between these two countries, but at the same time, Ireland are on a very, very different trajectory than their Italian counterparts. What we'd like to see from Greg McWilliam's team is that Ireland are incrementally making improvements as the tournament goes on. So they look to rectify some of the huge mistakes, one of them being 43 missed tackles against France. Like, if it gets into a loose game, they need to make their tackles. What we've seen against the Welsh is they made no gain line and they didn't win the collision. So they're two key areas for me today.
We will have the anthems very shortly. Greg McWilliams said during the week that the mood was good and that the players were working hard. They're determined to get it right. We will see if that graph is going upwards today. They can actually play well here and not win. That's how good the Italians are, just to put it in context.
Yeah, they are. And as much as this ground has brought us heartache, including myself, who was included in 2019 and 2021, it's a beautiful stadium. The crowd that are there are extremely passionate. It's a lovely atmosphere created. The Italians are very passionate. So, you know, all the, I suppose, elements are correct.
Okay, here's the anthems and then the game. They look focused, they look primed, they look ready. They can smell a win in the air today, Italy. You could tell all week that they have been focusing on this. It's been a mixed championship for the Italian forwards, who have been good at attacking line-out time, but they have struggled in the scrum. Now, captain Elisa Giordano is out, so Franco moves to number 8, and Locatelli takes over at open side. Beatrice Capomaggi is in for Munizzi at fullback, while Sofia Stefan goes from wing to scrum half. That means that the Inca starts on the wing. For Ireland, despite the scoreline, the forwards did show well in Cork, even when the French had their full complement on the pitch, so they remain unchanged. Niamh Jones could be the key today. The hooker has made more dominant tackles than any other player in this year's competition so far. There's 3 changes to the back line, with Lauren Delaney, Anna McGann and Elsa Hughes all coming in. It's Hughes' first start of the championship, while McGann is starting for the first time, having previously featured from the bench. It's a big day for all of those players, as it is for these ones. Some call them the subs, some call them the game finishers. They'll hope to...
I think it could be key today, to be honest. Oisin is the bench for both teams, and the impact it could make, because if it's going to be as close as we think it will be, it'll depend on maybe the last 20 minutes.
And that heat could be telling as well. 17 degrees, but it's a big jump when you're used to only training in around 8 or 9.
Yeah, the weather hasn't been good, let's be honest, this week for the Irish girls who would have been training. It was wet, it was windy, it was miserable, but however, hopefully that'll put their handling skills under the pressure they needed to just thrive today and express themselves.
And Italy have lost their first 2 games of this year's Women's Six Nations after winning their last 2 of the 2022 edition.
I did notice though in the anthems they were very much motivated and buoyant, and you know, they were like a kettle about to reach boiling point, isn't it? Whereas the Irish girls, though, they were passionate about their, obviously Ireland's call, there was a little bit more subdued.
Well, if Ireland win, we'll say they were more focused, while the Italians were too emotional. If Italy win, then we'll say, oh, well, they were obviously up for it more.
So we're covered either way.
That's it, that's it.
We're in a privileged position.
O'Brien gets us underway. She's so important today, isn't she?
She is, because, like I said, we didn't really win the collision, and if we're going to get into territory and use that possession, she's going to have to... There we go. And we can see the kicking game from the off here now, putting the Italians under pressure.
And Italy can often struggle defending this and receiving kicks.
I think our line chase could have been a bit more... look, our line chase could have been better there, couldn't it?
As if to prove me wrong, that was an exquisite kick from the Italians. Ireland pressed right back. A 50-22 of real quality. Well, did it bounce inside the 22? Well, it was outside, but it skipped towards, and O'Brien was chasing, couldn't get there.
Now, here we can see one of the key areas, I think, for Ireland today will be their line-out.
18th cap for Maris. Italy have scored off 2 lineouts so far in the competition. Had a bright start against England last week. England got the first try. Italy responded almost immediately, but after that, then England just took over. Speaking of taking over, the Italian scrum half, Stefan. And they are gaining ground. Stefan, who's captaining today in the absence of the injured captain. Bottled up there was Rigoni.
Ireland were very narrow against France, and I'm wondering, are the Italians, after looking at that, they're very wide off their scrum, or off their ruck, beg your pardon?
And they do like to try and get the ball wide early as well.
Yes, they do. That's a nice turnover by Ireland.
Dugan got her hands in there. It led to a kick clear, but it's come to Campomaggi.
And look at the line chase. Your line chase has to be a green wall. Otherwise, the Italians are good enough to pick holes apart in you.
Muzzo winning her 34th cap, gaining ground. Scrum half Stefan again. A very versatile player, played on the wing last week. Can Italy get through here? Rigoni, great break. It's De Inca sidestepping wonderfully. Needs support, hasn't got it. It was a little bit slow in arriving. Italy get the penalty. Ireland offside. What a break that was from De Inca.
I'd like to see it back there. How do we create it? That and this is the key. Beatrice Rigoni is going to be the key to this back line for the Italians. It looks like she took it right to the gain line, drew an Irish player in and popped it off to De Inca, who made that line break.
And now Italy have a line out in a very, very good position from their point of view.
I find it strange on a dry area as a forward where you go to a 2 spot, which they did in the last time. If you're going to hit Ireland, yeah, there we go. You want to go to the back.
The Keeney, they thought they had lost it, but somehow kept it alive. It wasn't the plan, but it might still work out for them. Here's crash ball. Ireland desperate to keep them out.
Ireland can't get sucked in here now.
And you can see they're kind of fanning across the line there.
Well,
Italy keep it tight, go for the carry again. Stefan keeping an eye. She might go herself. Nope. Gives it out to Rigoni. Rigoni looking for a gap. The gap was closed by McGann. Good tackle. Still on the Italian side though. Stefan presents it well.
Great tackle by Sam Mullen.
Yeah, and
Nice
Scorbini's a powerful ball carrier, so that's a big win for them. Tuanese, who plays her rugby in England. And Ireland get the penalty. That is a big win early on.
That's some nice defence there by Ireland. Against the French, I felt they got caught looking into the ruck, which what happens is then you're not looking at blue jerseys and who can really attack you and look at that and pick holes against you. But their defensive line was good, and they come up off the line and made dominant hits.
It's a solid strike to clear. Jones, so important to this team. The 24-year-old, you can hear Niamh Briggs in the background.
Fold quicker, and the thing about it is, make your tackle, get up off the ground. We need as many Ireland need as many people on feet as they can, and obviously then they have to match their numbers depending.
Niamh Briggs, the assistant coach. Haney receiving some running repairs.
I have been there when you're a prop and you're just getting smashed in the nose constantly.
Former softballer, Haney. Nothing softball about today.
Nope.
Here's Jones. Played it to a decent level as well in college in America. Came into rugby in an unusual way, but it's worked out. That wasn't straight.
Christy Haney is a lovely person, and she's a very hard-working player. So, whenever I'd say she puts her mind to now, as much as she's talented, she'll make sure she gets to the top.
And she's hard to stop as well. Italians with the scrum, the thumbs up from Hughes.
Italy are a nice spot. If they're cute, if I was their coach, I'd be telling them to come up on the loose end side, which would bring all the Ireland defenders to the, in a deficit.
Stefan feeds. Franco thinking of bursting, but Stefan gives to Rigoni instead. That's a great pass, really soft hands. Now can they finish off the move? It's Solari. Not sure who got the tackle. I think it was Delaney. It's knocked on. And it's a stroke of luck for Ireland. Well, you can say it's a stroke of luck. In fairness to Delaney, she got back and made the tackle and forced the knock on. But Italy showing intent here.
That is an absolutely gorgeous line. Like, they're the running lines you see week in, week out in professional rugby, and that's what, you know, cuts defences apart. That's a poor decision, though, for me. You're 5 metres from the opposition line. Do not throw that offload. Retain your ball, because Ireland had to scramble back into a broken line of defence.
Well, twice they've denied Italy now.
It's kind of repeat, isn't it? Italy were so good against France and so potent and really didn't reward themselves. And if they do that today, they're keeping Ireland in with a chance.
Now, at scrum time here, is it a matter of just getting it in, getting it out and kicking it clear?
Yes, have an exit strategy this close to your line.
Haney carries, showing no ill effects of her knock. It's a good carry as well.
That's Derv Nicavard from the 8.
Nicavard, I beg your pardon.
No, that's fine.
She's carried more than most players, certainly the most for an Irish player so far. Nicavard escaping
and look at her there, she's absolutely cute as be damned. She holds Franco in and actually gets Ireland that penalty. Really showing her experience there for this young Irish team.
Very clever at the breakdown, very good to carry as well. She's gained more distance than any other Irish player so far in the TikTok Six Nations 2023.
A very cute Munster woman, if I'm allowed to say. I'll come under scrutiny for that, but very cute.
That's okay. That was a knock-on and a needless one. Italy giving Ireland field position with a needless error, and we've seen this in their 2 games so far. Brilliant as they are at times, they do make very basic errors.
They do, and to see them do something so sublime in those running lines and then just like really neglecting the basics, like that is criminal.
Hughes. The Tullamore woman puts the ball in.
Scrum is doing well here.
Nicavard assessing the options. Off she goes again. Had Hughes on her shoulder, doesn't need her. That's another fine break from her. Can Ireland recycle here? Italy steal it back and trying to escape as Duca.
In the work, knock on. Thank you, Mary.
This was one key area I felt Ireland didn't look after in their first 2 games, was the breakdown. Whether they had attack a ball and got turned over, or their ruck was countered.
8. When you have a ball, you play faster, please.
Nicavard just handing off Franco.
No, when we have a ball on your feet, play faster. Okay?
I'm not sure the 9 could have come round and tackled there in that last scrum, because she wasn't still bound and her hand was on the ball. So the Italian should be questioning that. Scrums are pretty even there, aren't they, weight-wise?
John Fogarty has done great work with the scrum the last couple of weeks. John McKee as well.
It's his brother Dennis.
Dennis, yeah, sorry, yeah, you're right. I was actually, as I said it.
Well, they're both as good as the other, they're both gentlemen.
That's fumbled, and it is an Italian scrum. John's a coach as well, he's worked with Leinster and Ireland.
Yep. He's actually come in, and John actually would have come in and out at camp when he had time, in between his busy schedule, and would have worked with us, and he just keeps it simple and consistent. He's a really, really good man. I have been on the end of Ailsa Hughes' passes, and they can come at you like a bullet. So, but again, Ireland get themselves in good position, and it's just similar to the Italians, just turn over poor ball, unfortunately.
Stefan to feed. An error-strewn performance by both teams so far. Stefan Rigoni goes with the boots.
This is obviously something Italy have looked at, 'cause that's twice now they've kicked to that corner.
Delaney on the counter-attack. Good pass by Delaney. Well taken by Dalton. It wasn't an easy one to take. Hughes. Hughes. They don't seem in a rush at breakdown time, do they?
They're obviously now excellent, and they're, again, Ireland have obviously looked at what they want to kick to territory and get some good gain line that way, rather than going through phases and carrying ball.
being rushed up. It was just let go out by Capomaggi, being part of that kind of double tackle along with Delaney that prevented a certain Italian try a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, but they're being brought back here now because the ball was passed back in, and obviously kicked straight out, so they come back to where the receiver got the ball. This is, again, not what Ireland want to see. They don't want to be bringing the Italians into their 22.
Bikini, that's a better line out in the sense that it didn't go forward, but it is a little bit messy.
Well, that's 3 that they haven't won cleanly.
Ireland have stolen it.
Great turnover with Sam Monaghan.
Hughes. Ireland go to the boot again. Waiting for it is De Inca. We know she can burst. Grabbed there by Grace Moore. They worked really hard against the French.
Grace Moore had an exceptional game. She was one of the positives from that game.
Italy going through the phases. Comes off ahead, so it's okay. That's not a knock on. O'Brien cushions it with that left. Takes a bit of a lucky bounce. Nadia eventually gets it under control. It's an old school carry on. Jugang is waiting for it. Again, that's okay. Doyle. Hughes wants it. Hughes. Sam Monaghan.
Good carry.
Excellent carry. It's what her and Friday do so well. Penalty Ireland through sheer intensity and hard work.
Well, what you find is when you're winning game line, you're actually putting teams under pressure and they always have to come back. Poor tackle technique by the Italians, and they got penalised for it, but what a great carry by Sam Monaghan, and we're finally starting to see momentum for Ireland if they can build on this now.
O'Brien kicks for touch. They get the line out because it was an Irish penalty. Haley having a word with Jones. It's a really good opportunity for Ireland here. And it's an opportunity they take.
This is good by Ireland. It's very, very hard to stop them all when it gets moving, so they need to keep recycling that ball.
Hughes keeping an eye on it. Doesn't quite take it out yet. I can actually sense the forward in you. Just let it in there for a while.
I'm like, leave it alone, Hilsa.
Wall tried to get through a gap. Recycles. Hughes. O'Brien thought about the crossfield kick.
And now she's isolated.
Hughes shoveled it out quickly. Back inside. That was a good move. Wall. Nicola Ward. We know that she can gain ground. Hughes.
Great
Nicola
game,
Friday. Yep. Hughes puts a bit of width in it. O'Brien. That was a good offload. Great work from McGann. I think that's Dalton on the ground. Hard to see with so many bodies in the way. Either way, it's still Ireland ball. Jugang.
Don't come back in there, Linda. You're coming back into a whole brood of Italian shirts.
Haney with support from Jones. O'Brien. Nicola Ward. Nicola Ward has the confidence to take them on herself and slip it off to Delaney.
This is better by Ireland, building phases, getting gain line, getting momentum.
Still there for Ireland. Hughes. Sam Monaghan. Hughes. Monaghan goes wide-ish. I'm not sure if McGann was the intended target. She took it well. It's lost.
7. Side entry in the mole. 7.
Anna McGann is a fantastic athlete. She plays with myself at Railway Union, so she's very hard to tackle. You go low on her, she still has 2 hands to get an offload. She's obviously been in the sevens program for many years, so a fantastic addition, and obviously has been training well to get her start after kind of injury-riddled season, to be honest, for her.
Seemed to be a very long advantage that was played there. In the end, it was called back because Locatelli went in from the side of the maul.
It's hard to know. You see the variation of advantage from week in, week out. regardless, men's game, women's game. So it's hard to know when you're advantaged. Even when you're a player, it's frustrating. If you've good referees, they're continually talking to you and you can kind of ask them. But yeah, it was strangely long there. But look, Ireland won't be complaining.
Two games and just one try scored for Ireland. Italy have had the bulk of possession, as you can see, but they still haven't put any points on the board.
Well, the irony is it's the least Ireland have had possession-wise and probably some of their better rugby. You know, so if they can keep building these phases, they're in a really good position now.
On your mark.
And you would likely to see them all, hopefully, and Ailsa Hughes leaving the Irish forwards to do what they do best.
Jones. Oh, Italy have it back. And trying to escape there, I think, is Tunisi. Franco,
yeah.
Franco.
Oh, that's infuriating now, to be honest.
Rigoni moves it on. Soleri got her hands on it. Italy on the break. Here's Muzo. Stefan.
Great
Good tackle, Grace Moore. Stefan goes to the narrow side. Rigoni. Ireland keep it in play. Little dipping up and under, but goes out on the full. The idea was good, the execution not so much. We can see the good and bad of both teams there from the Italian point of view. I'm not sure Rigoni was kicking with the tactic in mind. I think she just kicked it.
Which is strange. So Ireland are on the Italians' 10-metre line. You know, they're in really good position, an overthrow. And next one, Italy are up over into the Irish half. Like, it's been a mind-boggling game so far, hasn't it, really?
It has been exciting, though. Here's Bikini. Stressful, I'm sure, if you're one of the Irish coaching staff. The same for the Italian coaching staff. To knock on, it is an Irish scrum.
It's probably, as cliche as it sounds, Oisin, it's like the Irish weather this match. Some good patches, but yeah, unexpected patches of rain. It's just weird. But look, there has been some exciting moments like that. Do you think Ireland are going to score or set something up to put the Italians under pressure, and now the Italians come out and... One thing I'd like to see more from the Italians is Giada Franco, you know, unexperienced both playing and watching her. She's such a potent, a bit like Jade Conkle. Such a good ball carrier that wins you gain line all the time and will suck the Irish defence in, but they're not really going with her. They're looking to pass and keep the ball alive, which I'm not sure suits them all the time.
Nicola Wards trying to take on the Italians by herself and winning. Hughes. Ireland's try and create some space, try and create an opening Friday. Hughes. Plenty of options out wide there. Behan couldn't hang on to it.
Again, like Ireland had a 4-on-2 there. Like you just want to... That pass was an excellent pass, but probably just a little bit too much torque on it, or else... And look, that'll come in time when, you know, these players, again, there's new combinations and it's very hard to know everyone's idiosyncrasies that comes with time, you know.
Bikini. That works. Clever idea, Maris. Shoveled on. Rigoni. Stefan. Goes short. Trying to wrestle her way through his Duca. And Ireland get the penalty.
I think that's harsh by the referee. Like, that actually hadn't unfolded. And usually if you get a chance to get back up on your feet where you actually have a body, a surface of body where the opposition can attack and clear it out.
Ireland gain ground. Ireland with the line out. And their discipline has been very good.
Well, not hard when the Italians are actually ridiculously poor.
Okay, I'll rephrase it. Their discipline has been much better than the Italians.
Sorry.
They go to the maul again, and why not? Because it yielded positive results earlier. That's Jones, I think, with the ball tucked under her arm. It is Jones.
Niamh Jones did extremely well there. She was really exposed.
Hughes tries to spot a gap. Franco clung on to her. Grace Moore. Hughes. Sam Monaghan. Hughes. O'Brien. Delaney flicked it on. Doyle couldn't find a way through. But again, she kept her head and managed to recycle. Hughes. Friday. Such a reliable carrier. And Ireland get the penalty.
You impact the arriving player. No.
I'm not sure. I think the referee is French, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
correct.
So she's not liking the Italians right now today. So
With the,
listen, she's being consistent.
with a German assistant and a Scottish assistant. Mario Latos and Mary Pringle. I think you can guess which is the German and which is the Italian from the names I just gave you.
I take a guess them.
So Ireland in a good position again.
Non, il faut d'abord que le plaqueur sorte pour que le jeu, j'autorise le
I'm
gratteur,
sure it is
d'accord?
something the Italian
Yeah.
coach
Inside.
Giovanni Ranieri has thought about, but Italy, again, their unstructured nature is costing them perhaps today.
Yeah, myself and yourself were speaking this before we came on. Like, their game management needs to prove when can you offload the ball in broken play, and when do you need to tuck it under.
Hughes, what decision is she going to make here? It's McCann who takes it on.
Ball is out.
Hughes, Jugang pumping the legs. Hughes goes to the narrow side. Haney,
It's a great carry.
fantastic carry. Hughes, Jugang is waiting. Jugang, good hands, good drive, has support.
Turnover is good.
Italy have turned it over.
No hand, release.
And can they get it clear?
It's blue, it's blue.
Hooked away. Delaney monitoring the progress. Delaney fumbled. I think it was backwards though. It was backwards. We're okay. We can play on. We as in everyone.
Beatrice O'Coney is not a happy woman there.
No, she's not. That's another fine break.
No hand.
Hughes wants to get her hands on it. Hughes wants to get it moving. She does. Friday. Hughes. O'Brien. Popped out by Jones. Taken well by McCann.
Knock on.
Knocked on. Italy scrum.
Eva Doyle is not a happy camper there. What Ainsley Hughes is doing really well for this Irish team is she's getting to the breakdown. They're looking after a bit better today. And as we can see, because that ball has been moved, it's not giving the Italians that time to set up their defence. And that's where we're seeing the nice momentum and gain line that we haven't seen in the previous two matches for Ireland. But Ireland, little bit Italian-esque there. They didn't need to force that ball. It's okay to reset and start again and get some some attack and shape on it, and just keep chipping away and eating away at the Italian into Italian territory.
Well, Greg McWilliams said during the week that Hughes and O'Brien, the halfbacks, work well together. They did play together in Japan.
And they played together for Leinster this year for the Interpros, and would have been for that combined provinces in the Celtic Cup as well.
Just got away from McGann. Earlier this week, by the way, Ireland won the Under-18 Girls Four Nations title following a stunning 60-53 comeback win against England in Cardiff. Earlier in the week, they beat Scotland 70-43, having beaten Wales 71-62. So a positive note from women's rugby during the week in the lead into this.
Larissa Muldoon, ex-Ireland international, and she coached us at Railway Union, is heavily involved there along with Katie Fitzhenry, so some good work there, and by the clubs who've obviously nurtured these players to bring them up, so some nice grassroots coming up.
Italy with the put into the scrum. It is Stefan winning her 76th cap today. It's quite an experienced Italian team. Silari is winning her 77th, Muzzo winning her 34th, Duca in the second row winning her 37th, Locatelli her 40th, Franco her 30th, A lot of caps out there.
You never forget playing against Duka. She's an absolute formidable carrier and warrior. And here we go. This is the Giada Franco we're used to. Look at that game line carry there, superb. And it's getting Italy on the front foot.
Franco, who scored the try against France, or one of the tries against France in the opening game. Italy on the move. De Inca. It squirts out. Italy keep it alive. Stefan. Nadia, good hands.
And that's good by Italy. Like that's when they can move the ball.
Stefan. Well, the kick worked. Behan. Oh, it's a line out to Italy. It's a mistake from Ireland. It was a slice of luck for the Italians.
Well, we just spoke about experience, didn't we? And that's where you see the experience here now for the Italians. Giada Franco, what a handoff, what a carry. And this is what she does extremely, extremely well. Missed a lot of the championship last year, if I'm not mistaken.
You mentioned the amount of caps some of the Italian players have. Behan only winning her 5th today, still only 23. But Ireland steal the line out. Hughes. O'Brien to clear.
Vecchini, if I'm pronouncing that right, is not having a good day at the office now, to be honest, on line outs. I don't think she's hit one clean ball.
Ireland put the pressure on there. Mattis got it moving again for Italy, but Ireland clamped them, slow them down. Here comes the clearance kick.
Stop.
Nadia. It's central, it's good for Ireland. Delaney will run it back.
Just carry now. There we go.
Hughes gets there. Jugang. Jones. Didn't take it in a great position, so the Italians were able to get her to ground, but she was able to keep it alive. Crash ball from Ireland. It's lost. They try to regather. Knocked on. Scrum, Italy.
You can't expect to do any damage if you don't retain your ball. Great carry by Dorothy Wall. Now, the only thing is, I would question how she fell, but still, you should have support there to clear the ruck. It's just unfortunate the way she fell, unfortunately, favoured the Italians, but yeah, it's like a pendulum, isn't it? Italians, Irish. It's keeping us on our toes anyway, I'll give them that.
It certainly is. Aoife Dalton getting some treatments. It's on Clara in County Offaly, the same place as golfer Shane Lowry.
I watched these stats the last day against France, the 1 to 3 second rucks, and I think France's was up in 72%. And to play against that, a team moving the ball that quickly, I'd say everyone's lungs was on fire. You know, it's such a quick game when it's played so well like that. And I think the only other team with stats up there would be the likes of Leinster and Ireland.
Well, the line-out has been the stuff of nightmares so far for Italy.
J'ai expliqué qu'il faut d'abord que le plaqueur il sorte clairement des zones avant.
The Italians' lifts look small. Like when you're going to the back, it's kind of a throw jump mentality. So you have to have one of your lightest jumpers going at the back there, because you're actually eliminating all of that Irish defence or Italian defence, whoever's on the throw. So I'm not sure with the Italians. I would change my jumper without being offensive, you know.
John McKee and Greg McWilliams.
Please. There's the mark, and look where she's standing. Thank you. Let's go, Nate. You have it.
You forwards, you'll argue all the time.
Listen, hookers are like rams, you know, or stags, you know, they just go head to head when it's all about the mark, and you don't want to give an inch.
Stefan to feed.
Bind. Set.
It collapses. Ireland have won their last 15 out of 16 matches against Italy in the TikTok Six Nations. The last 3 have been by wins of 14 points or more.
Yeah, I think last year's battle was 29-8, if I'm not mistaken, so it was a comfortable win, and some lovely pieces of play, and we won comfortably in the end, which was a lovely day out in Musgrave.
No.
As a loose head prop, what you love is your your blindside flanker kind of going to the assist. And oh, look at the, you know, planting that seed about the opposition tie head.
Sophia Stefan. Well, I heard Brian Moore say during the commentary last week of England and Italy, when scrums collapse, only the props can honestly say what the cause of it was, and they'll always lie.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, now.
Deny everything until someone tells you you've done wrong. It's very hard to imagine, like, you're trying to control 7 people behind you.
Yep. I think his point was it's tough on referees, and I think the right decision has probably been made here to just go again.
Well, 700 kg on both sides going head to head. It's laws of physics, isn't it? So sometimes it's not as easy.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Stefan. Will Italy go to their back line? Rigoni. De Inca. Great footwork by De Inca, setting Capomaggi away. And now it looks like Muso's going to at least set up a try. Rigoni is tackled, but she does offload. It's a great offload. A fantastic finish. When Italy get it right, they get it right. They got it right there. It's Stefan who got over the line.
Lovely dummy line, I think, was it by Solari off Rigoni there that kept the, yeah. Super, super line, and what that does is it sits the Irish defence down and creates that nice overlap. And now we see the offload.
O'Brien thought she'd stopped the try there, but Rigoni offloaded to the runner on the shoulder, Stefan. Fantastic work by the scrum half.
No,
Fantastic work by the Italian backline.
Thank you.
I can't lie, on first glances I thought it was a forward pass by Rigoni.
So did I. Now they've plenty of time to check it. And they very well might, and even after the kick is taken, the new law is that you can go back and check it. We saw that last week. Ian Tempest, by the way, from England is our TMO today. That's a really, really fine kick.
That's a fantastic kick. I suppose the question now is, and this is when Italy do things well, what a line. Ireland are scrambling. Lauren Delaney has to make that decision. Brings Anna McGann over, and it's just gaps, 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 and Italy just exploit them. And that's when they're good in moving the ball through hands.
What about that, though, from Rigoni, that offload? Great tackle by O'Brien to get there, but
I think the last time we saw such an offload was in the World Cup final, New Zealand against England.
Solari nailed the conversion as well, and that kind of ups her percentages. She was only 33% coming into today. Granted, not many opportunities against England, especially with France as well on the first day.
Question is, Oisin, now who's going to respond better? Is Italy going to take confidence out of that, and Ireland be on the back foot confidence-wise, or is it going to kick Ireland into life? Not straight.
Still by Monaghan, but it wasn't straight.
And I've been there as a player, you know, you do so many good things, you're getting momentum, you're stunted, small mistakes, basic errors, and it just then plays with you. That's very...
Jones, who's winning her 16th cap. The Italians in full voice now.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Breaking is Franco, then giving to Stefan. You can feel the confidence of the Italians now. And here they go again, Capomaggi. Ireland rip it back. Great play.
Great turnover.
Behan.
Stay back.
The offload is made to Friday.
What the Italians have done very well is they have this secondary line of attack, and you actually are only seeing that in the women's game now, but it's so hard to defend because you have an option of a front door or a back door. We saw Leinster do that so well against Leicester last week when players are running at you at speed.
O'Brien's boot, giving it back to the Italians. The Italians counter-attacking. Franco tries to juggle, beat was able to tackle. She did really well, didn't she?
And then wins gain line. She is so hard to tackle.
Stefan, no look pass. Scorbini couldn't quite get away, but Italy, well, couldn't get away first time, could second time. Penalty Ireland.
Great turnover, Nicola Friday.
And you can hear the shouts of Ara Paul as well, just getting in to the referee's head.
Both teams are very slow to the breakdown. I'm kind of surprised at that, considering the ball itself is being moved so quickly through the hands.
Okay.
It's powerful from Sam Monaghan.
It is, but what the Italians are doing well is because that line Sam had to bite in, where's the next running line, support line from the Italians?
Jones, that line out is better, and it was taken. Ireland using them all well again. Italy on the back foot. Hughes getting ready to get involved, and now she does. Are there gaps there, and can they go through them? McGann, Hughes, Jugang. Hughes. Nick Ward. Penalty to Italy. You're frustrated, Lindsay, I can sense it.
I'm so sorry, Oisín, because I still don't understand. The ball is still moving for me, and until that ball is stopped dead and the referee is asking you to use it, I wouldn't be doing anything with that. We want the maul to get us as much, or Ireland to get as much gain line off that maul as possible.
Yeah.
And then, when Ailsa Hughes can see all the Italians sucked in, then get it out to her backs. When she's so little, like they're so close to the Italian try line. Like the maul is ridiculously potent. It's done really well there. What I really liked with Ireland is they actually moved Nicola Friday as they brought her down, and even won that small bit of gain line and momentum right from the off. Like that's been excellent for them.
Bikini. It's messy, but again, it is on their side. Stefan.
Inside.
The Italians are doing well, considering they're getting no kind of springboard from their line out.
Franco. Rigoni.
It's a great kick. And this is what I mean, like, Ireland are doing so well to get into Italian territory, and then a poor turnover, and they're back to halfway.
Rigoni rating her own kick as she struck it. 64th Italian cap for her. Jones. Taken well. Haney. Hughes. Monaghan. Hughes. O'Brien with a little chip over the top. Probably too many blue jerseys around it though. To Inca. That was actually Muzo, I beg your pardon. Here's Stefan. Here's Rigoni.
Now the numbers.
And now it is Dainka. We know how she can move. Stefan goes to the open side. Carried by Maris.
Knock on advantage.
Ireland have the advantage. Can they take it? It'll probably stop now.
No advantage.
Hughes said she'd try something. She had the advantage. It didn't work. So we come back for the scrum.
That's the advantage of advantage when you make a decision like that. You're going to get the ball back.
The Inca's footwork is so impressive.
It is ridiculous. He's it's very Jordan Larmour-esque, isn't it?
It's
It
okay,
is.
let's go.
Maybe she has Irish heritage and does a bit of Irish dancing in her spare time.
Let's get back to the jigs and reels of scrum time.
Very good.
Crouch! Bind!
Really impressed. I don't know if anyone's watching and you've never... The dark arts of the scrum, Ireland are actually tipping their weight as they lean forward, which is extremely impressive, and it's really putting the Italian scrum on the back foot, so their hit will really be potent if they can hit as an 8. So it's something obviously Dennis has really instilled in them.
Well, if Italy keep Ireland out, it will be the third half of rugby in this year's championship where Ireland have not got any points. Not in a row, obviously, but that's still quite a lot of halves.
No, I'm telling you it's mine. I'm just telling you direction. Crouch! Bind! Set!
They are trying, they are working. Will it be rewarded with points before half-time?
Great scrum by Ireland.
O'Brien. Soft hands, good break. Great break. It's Dalton. Hughes. Moore.
Thank you.
That's fantastic running line. Dan O'Brien sucked it in, nice off hands, and what a line by Aoife Dalton.
Left behind for Hughes. O'Brien didn't go with the boot. Here is McGann. Jones. Jones has a runner in the shoulder, that's Doyle. Ireland perhaps just run out of room. They do try and keep it alive though. Hughes. Hughes. Helped on by McGann. Goes a little bit loose, but comes to Behan. Behan gets support from Delaney. Moore. Oh. Driven back, but it's still on the Irish side. Hughes. Friday. Hughes trying to slip through. Jones wants to take it and burst, perhaps Wall there as well. Sam Monaghan another good option, as is Friday, as is Nick Ward, but they keep it tight. Great defence there from Tunezi, showing her strength.
Has had a great tournament so far, Tunezi. She's one of the top turnovers in the tournament.
Hughes waiting for us. Moore gaining ground.
Advantage, no clear Willis. No clear Willis.
O'Brien stabs it through, but I'm not sure anyone else read the intention. Ireland have the advantage anyway.
No clear Willis.
So it's a penalty. Do Ireland try and play it, or do they just take the 3 points?
I'd take the 3 points, to be honest. But they're on top and they're putting some good phases together. Their scrum has been dominant, so I think that's the option they've gone for. So nothing really to lose, Oisin, at this stage. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's 3 or going in, you know, if they come away with a converted try, then it's a good decision, and they're obviously confident in their set piece right now.
Well, they want to see Ireland go over.
Great to see so many tricolours in the and just like Kerry jerseys, you always want a Connacht jersey. I noticed that.
Ireland, they've been on top in the scrum. Can they use that advantage to get over the line, to drive Italy back, to create something?
Please, respect.
I have to say, the Italians look a little bit fatigued to me at the minute, so...
Yeah.
Hughes feeds. Will Nick Ward break from the back?
No, they're going to keep it in, I think. Oh,
She'll have to break now. She does break. Just held back. Can Ireland keep it alive? Hughes. Hughes goes short. It's Friday with help from Monaghan.
Great latch.
Hughes, O'Brien, past when maybe she could have run, but Ireland still have it.
Oh, they've latched.
Hughes, Sam Monaghan.
Ireland just need to keep the ball now, go through their phases.
Hughes. Nicola Ward tried to slither through. Still on the Irish side. Haney. We've seen her do this with Leinster so well.
Yes, she's getting the momentum there again for Ireland.
Hughes improvises, gets to O'Brien, just about grabbed by Dalton. Ireland keep it alive. Delaney, Behan for the corner, Behan for the line. Oh, she's unlucky. She does stay in play though, her foot not in touch. Back inside from Hughes.
We're on the edge of our seats here.
No advantage. How many penalties? No, just one in the scrum. Here, it's a trapping on your player, so it's not a penalty for this situation. In the scrum?
Nicola Friday, the captain, having a word. Ireland have the penalty, they'll go for another scrum.
In the scrum, stand up. Scrum again.
That was great improvisation from Hughes to go from rugby scrum half to basketball and throw it like
Must
that.
have been looking at Anton Dupont last week for his try to Ramos.
On the floor, don't trapping the player, okay?
The Italians are on the back foot, can they hold out? Lindsay.
This is, you know, when it's just before half time, when you're going in for another scrum, you're on the back foot, the last thing you want is another scrum. You are absolutely fatigued. So I'll be interested to see, can the Italians hold out?
Hughes to feed. Ireland on the brink.
Use the ball, use!
Stefan barking. Hughes in no rush. They do use it. It's Delaney. Behan's waiting. Delaney goes herself. Delaney, she's held out for now. Hughes taken by Friday. Hughes. Grace Moore just about hangs on to it. No, she doesn't. It's a knock on. And that's the half. So close for Ireland. But effectively, they come away with nothing.
They did so many good things there and really had the Italians back to their walls.
It happened so quickly. I didn't even, in real time, notice that it hopped off the ground. Get support from her teammates. That's good to see.
Yeah, fair play to Sam Monaghan, because Grace Moore has been really, really good in the last two matches, has been deserving of her start, and you just don't want to be that person, you know, and sometimes when you're really looking to drive home and get the opposition on the back foot, sometimes you just force it, you know.
Italy leading by 7 points to 0 at the break. Stefan with that wonderful try was converted as well, and well, it might be a bit harsh on Ireland, who've had the bulk of territory and possession and a lot of chances as well, but ultimately, Lindsay, they haven't taken them.
No, and unfortunately the game of rugby comes down to the basics, and at times both teams have let themselves down with the basics, not looking after the breakdown, not looking after the ball, and that's a very, very unfortunate turnover there at the end.
So Italy have the advantage at the break, but this one is far from done yet. Half time, Italy 7, Ireland 0. Welcome back to Parma for the second half of this TikTok Six Nations encounter between Italy and Ireland. Without being too negative from an Italian or an Irish point of view, this could well turn out to be a wooden spoon match. They are playing like two teams who are low on confidence. They are playing like two teams who have got a lot of positive aspects, but we're also seeing some negatives.
I'd add to that, Oisín, to me, they seem like two teams struggling to find their identity. Like, who are they? The Italians we've seen can offload, can run, they're kicking. No game management to me. Ireland put some good phases together, and the same thing. Who are they? What's your style of play? What's your game management? What's your tactics here? Does that come from the coach down?
Ready?
Do you know? And that's, to me, is basically how I'd sum up both.
We saw some good stuff from Ireland in the first half. Can we see more of it in the second half? They came so close to scoring that try at the end of the half.
They did, and actually I was looking at stats there at half-time, and Italy have put in 117 tackles compared to Ireland's 52. So Ireland are doing some really good things and making the Italians work. They need to do that again and really tire the Italians out.
Rigoni taking her time.
Stop.
Pleasant day in Parma. No real breeze to speak of, and warm conditions. Jones with the line out. Ireland with a mixed line out in the first half.
Or at least they're hitting some. I don't think the Italians have hit one line out yet.
Jones looking for Friday. Got her fingertips to it, but Italy steal it back, and now Duca. Stefan got it out. Italy trying to inject a bit of pace. Rigoni. Capomaggi has options. One of them is Muso. She was tackled well by McCann. Italy, though, are able to keep going. Muso pumping the legs. Stefan helped on by Madia.
That's some nice depth by Italy coming onto the ball, and their passing is exceptional. Now they're outnumbered 3-on-1 here.
Good offload by Tunisi. They keep it going. It's De Inca using that fancy footwork to get in again. And Italy extend their lead.
It's funny, isn't it, Oisín? We could hear Briggsy in the first half about folding, and I think the Irish players just didn't fold there. Really, as Italy went through their phases, outnumbered the Irish on the wing.
Well, we did say that Italy, when they go quick and through the hands, they are dangerous. They showed it again there. It still required a really fine finish from De Inca. She's been threatening all game and followed through on that threat there.
So this is, I think, the Italian DNA for me is if they can build consistency into this, but that has to be coupled with game management. When do we need to restart the ball? When do we need to carry? When can we suck Ireland in and then move the ball through the hands? But let's give Italy credit there. I thought that was a sublime bit of rugby. They went through the hands over to one sideline, then to the other, and cut Ireland open.
Silari lining up the kick. Nailed the last one. And this is actually from a much easier position, if there's such a thing as an easy kick in international rugby.
I'd say this is harder now for a right-footed kicker, would you not think? Fair play to her.
Well, because she nailed it, I win the argument. It was easy.
You win, well done, you.
But you could see she was kind of uncomfortable taking it. It wasn't the cleanest of strike, but it was effective. What about that work from Tunisi? Second rows combining really well there.
And can I just say, any young player looking at this, two hands on the ball, bring the ball to the gain line. The support players have depth so they can come onto the ball, and I think that's basic rugby at its best, and it looks so well when it's done well.
Italy clear their lines. The pressure growing on Ireland. A young team, but they have played positively in patches at times in this championship. Can they put something together for the remaining 37 minutes?
I can't lie, Oisín, to have, I've been there where you're part of a team and you're plucking away and you're chipping away, and to come away with nothing in the 22 can be demoralising. But the good thing is they've gone down early in the half. They still have nearly a whole half of rugby.
Great steal at the line out from Italy. Franco. Silari throwing the dummy, running into Nick Ward, but getting it off to Muso. And now it's Rigoni. The wind is at the Italians' backs, and just as I say that, a loose pass.
Forward pass.
And here I sit here asking myself why. So many good patches, but that is criminal. You cannot turn over the ball in an international test match, you know, at those times where you have momentum. Just start the game again. Start the ball again. Look after your ball, retain it. You can continue to build phases.
Well, if it worked, they were away again, but too many times they make those risky plays and risky passes, and it doesn't work. They were really punished last week, and even at times against France. Well, the last game, not last week. You know,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Set! No, first. Number one. One.
Okay. Early engagement, I think is what she
I
called
think
it.
that's what she seems to be saying.
Yeah.
She gang pinged Italy with the free kick rather than a penalty. I think, but her arm was kind of hooked weirdly there. I couldn't tell whether she was, yeah, it's a free kick. So they'll just tap and go and roll and go effectively. Italy again trying to create something. Franco.
A great double tackle, but we just didn't continue through.
Stefan hangs it up for Rigoni, who does get there. Rigoni with the offload to Inca, trying to get away again. Throws it loosely and throws it forward. By the way, you might be hearing a kind of a weird tap in the background. That is either an effects mic or the referee's mic at the stadium. We don't have control over that, but just in case it's grating on you a little bit. Rigoni, this is grating for Italy. Rigoni again getting into a good position to Inca, just flinging it back inside when
Okay.
it seemed like Rigoni was...
What a kick. What a kick and collect by Rigoni. And the Inca, the same thing. You're in a really good position. The line has been inconsistent by both teams. Just take the ball out.
Five.
Ireland seems sluggish, don't they? Starting off the second half.
They do, and maybe it's because of the effort they put in to the end of the first half, in which they lived on the Italian line and couldn't score.
And 70 degrees of heat at a test match either isn't helpful.
Hughes feeds. Can Ireland go from deep? Nick Ward. Left behind by McGann. Hughes. O'Brien. Stefan just allowed it to bounce into her orbit. Here's Capomaggi. Trying to step through is Madia. It's stolen back by Ireland. Great work. Wall. Jones. Jugang. Hughes. Haney.
No advantage for knock-on. Yeah. Mary here.
They're not rolling quick with the rocks, they're lying there.
No, for me.
Doyle with the tackle it, force the Italians to knock it on. It will be an Irish scrum.
The ball is available.
That's poor by Madia.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going into contact now, you're going to get against a couple of players. Just tuck the ball, mind it like it's a newborn baby, and just wait for your support to come, you know. Easy for me to say sitting here, of course. You could hear Nicola Friday there saying, you know, they're slowing their rucks illegally. I think they've been a lot more disciplined than they have been in the first half.
Left to left. Let's go. Crouch! Bind!
Linda's very high there.
Hughes to feed.
It's a good scrum.
Nick Ward. Hughes has an option out wide. Goes to that option. It's Doyle. It wasn't the greatest pass. She did well to keep it alive. Brought into touch. Italy line out.
I would have liked to see Derv take that a little bit more and Elsa come on at pace and really split those two Italian defenders and really put them under pressure to give Aoife Doyle that bit more like time on the ball, allow her to keep her depth, and then she comes on a pace as well, and we could have had a bit more gain line, I think, from Ireland there.
Not straight.
An Italian mistake gives Ireland some position and possession.
So Mark is here. Wait, let's go. Time off. And Jerry, Italy, please. Doctor, for Italy, please.
I think
D'accord.
I'm not a hooker, but it's very infuriating. I suppose when your set piece isn't firing, the scrum is going well for both teams. It's kind of balanced out enough, but really, really inconsistent for both set pieces at line-out time, which is surprising. We've had overthrows. We've had a couple of times it hasn't been straight from either side, which is strange, considering we're 3 matches in.
Let's a look at the first try from Stefan. This a look at the second. Finished off by De Inca, but made for her by Tunisian Duca, and Maris was involved in that move as well.
It's one of those moves you do at training all the time. You're kind of engaging a defender and you're giving the offload, and it was, as I said, it was brilliantly basic by the Italians and really got them over the line.
And I'm sure Giovanni Ranieri is happy with that. Craig McWilliams, not so much. Hard to know who the stoppage benefits more, Italy or Ireland.
I think Italy for now, because Ireland were left with the momentum for the last couple of minutes. But looking at the bench there, the Italian bench, there's a lot of young talent on there for them. And it'd be interesting to see who makes the changes first and what impact they're going to have.
Mark.
So Morris is okay, the prop who is receiving some treatment.
Down the mark. Yes. Yeah, down the mark.
Ireland down, but by no means out.
Well, there's still 30 minutes of rugby to play, and a lot of things can happen within that time.
Bind. Set.
Hughes takes. O'Brien uses the hands rather than the boot. McGann, Behan did well to take it. Italy try and hold her up. She gets to ground. Hughes shoveled off. Monaghan.
Nice offload there with Archibald.
Jugang. Ireland go deep. McGann. This is Dalton.
It's much better by Ireland.
Doyle eventually going to ground. Hughes. Jugang. Italy try and rip it. Jugang for Hughes. O'Brien. Oh, well taken by Dalton. Dalton's still going. Dalton, great running. Hughes. Friday, somehow offloaded. Monaghan. She wanted to get it going quickly. They didn't wait for Hughes to arrive. Now it's McGann. Can Italy turn this one over? No, they can't. Hughes.
Referee
Was it knocked on? It falls to Nicola Ward. It's okay. Referee allows them to play it. Haney catches the break there, but not the ball. O'Brien, Monaghan.
Yeah, Grace Moore off her feet.
And you fall. 7.
Well, so many good things followed by one bad thing, and it gives Italy back the ball.
Time off.
I think that's McGann who's receiving some treatment. You could see it as she went into contact in a tackle there. She'd already picked up a knock.
And you know, I feel really sorry for Grace Moore, you know, because Jana Franco, I think, took it a step back and actually let her fall into that. But I've been in that position. You're trying to really get there quick so you're not turned over. Some really, really good patch to play there by Ireland. Some of the offload and handling as Italy were coming up at a rate of knots off their defensive line was excellent. See there again, 23 missed tackles. Italy with 8 dominant compared to Ireland's 3, which was one key area that they have been thriving in throughout this tournament. And they are putting the Italians under pressure, 137 tackles. They're making Italy work. They're just not capitalising on that.
Oh.
It was Aoife Doyle's her own team.
McGann, yeah.
It's like some now the Louvre there now with that new head wrap on her.
She just wants to be patched up to play on. England and Scotland to come for Ireland. England in Musgrave Park, no doubt. Another big crowd will turn out in Cork for that game.
They had a sellout today against Wales in Cardiff, which is another new historic milestone for the game.
A really great atmosphere in Franklin's Gardens, actually, for their last game against Italy as well.
Yep.
Which, in a contest sense, isn't an attractive sell. Like, you know, going to that game, England are going to win it and going to win it well. So to actually sell out the game is a really good sign. Now, Buggy is in for Haney. Catherine Buggy, 35-year-old from Gloucester.
Really experienced. I thought she did some really good things last week. Probably, in my opinion, might have come on a little bit earlier last week, so it's nice to see her get some really good time into this. Nice little show and go against the French and really got some gain line, so good experienced player.
Experience in the general sense, not maybe in the Irish sense. This is only her second cap. Franco to Stefan.
Well, Catherine Buggy came in 2020 when I was still hanging around, and she was unfortunate to get a really bad injury and never come away to the qualifiers. So it's long overdue.
It's one of those ones where it's her second cap, but she has more experience than that. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. She's been with Gloucester a long time, who have a really professional setup. They're doing really well in the Prem, in the top 2 there now. So when she plays with the likes of Sam Monaghan and Eve Jones there, Kelsey Jones, so there's a huge cohort of really, really experienced internationals there.
The penalty conceded by Italy, and O'Brien kicks Ireland into the Italian 22. Can Ireland take advantage of their good position?
Please let it stay in the maul, Elsie Hughes, if it goes in there.
Jones. Friday took it. It is a maul. It is looking, well, I was about to say good, but they do get it out. Here's McCann. She was clamped, but kept her head. Jugang. Monaghan had more with her. Hughes, Nicola Ward. A little bit isolated, gets it out to O'Brien. Hughes, Monaghan, got it out to Jugang. Great offload by Monaghan. Ireland try and work it.
Great.
That's Buggy. Nicola Ward. Italy have a player down. Hughes really wants this ball. Maris in the way at the moment.
Well, what the referee is saying there, and you can hear, is
scrum for Ireland.
That the Irish players are guilty of holding the Italians in. I don't think they need to do that. The Italian discipline throughout this game has been poor, and Ireland don't need to kind of help the Italians out by doing that.
scrum for Ireland.
Mind you, I felt the referee was extremely patient for the Italians there, considering
well,
she was so hot on them in the first half.
Yeah.
Substitution. So number 6, Italy, go out. Time is off.
Scorbini is off for Italy.
Really, really excellent chop tackle there by Tunisia on Sam Monaghan, which is not an easy job. Sam Monaghan is an athlete, you know, and she's a hard woman to stop, but that was textbook.
9, out.
And Frederiki's coming in. And Ireland make a change as well. Hughes, who's worked incredibly hard today and really left it all out there, is being replaced by Molly Scuffle-McCabe, an experienced head coming in, a 98.2% passing accuracy as well in the Six Nations so far.
I think Kelsey Hughes has had a really good shift. She's moved the ball well. She's managed the game well. But I play with Molly Scuff as well, and she's an extremely level-headed, calm, experienced, skillful player that will... It's really good time to come on now. She's 20 minutes to get her team going and another boost of energy. And again, in the open field, she can absolutely kill you. Makes great decisions, keeps 2 hands on the ball. So it'll be interesting to see if we can open if Ireland can open the Italians up.
Well, Molly Scuffle-McCabe's first act is to feed this scrum. Nick Ward.
That's probably the first time the Italians have actually had some dominance in the scrum.
Sam Monaghan with support from Wall and Friday. Scuffle-McCabe, O'Brien. Dalton lost it, unfortunately. It's a knock on. Italy playing advantage. Can they take advantage? It's Diinka from deep. Good offload again. Going through the hands. Kick and chase from Medea. Well, they said they might as well play it and break. They had the advantage and they will come back now.
They're like the Boston Celtics when they get going in basketball. Their fast break when they turn over the ball has been exceptional. And that's what you want to do. When you turn over the ball, you always want 2 passes away from where the ball got turned over, because that's where the opposition is weak, and they do that extremely well, the Italians. Ireland, look at the possession there, 64. 64%.
Jones. Friday got her hand to it, came off Zhu Gang and fell to her teammate. Ireland catch a bit of luck there, and then it's ripped and taken back. And Italy maybe had more time and space than they realised and threw it out of play. It will be an Irish line out. Unstructured is how I would describe the game at times.
Do you know what, Oisin? I feel like I'm looking back into a time capsule, because I used to do this when I started rugby. I always wanted to bring the fast break element to basketball, and people would be going, why do you do that? And now I'm looking at myself going, I can understand why I frustrated people. Sometimes you just need to carry the ball, look after it, and restart again.
Hogan is in the game. Another experienced player.
We have a gap. Play on.
What I'd like to see from Brittany Hogan, and what she does really well, is she really brings aggression and line speed. And if she can bring that to this Irish team and help get some turnovers, I think that'll be a really good introduction from her.
13 cap for her. Scuffle-McCabe barking the instructions. Jones with the ball tucked under her arm. That's a good ball from Ireland. And they're committing to it. Scuffle-McCabe. Ireland keep it going. Hogan just about kept it in hand there. It was an awkward one to take. Scuffle-McCabe. Monaghan was waiting, didn't go to her, went to O'Brien. Italy turn it over again, and it's grabbed gratefully by Tunisia. Stefan. Ireland will counter. Delaney. Good tackle. Rushing up there was Silari.
Yeah, there's a turnover again.
And Solari, who came off the ground with it as well. Italy run into heavy traffic. Mattis.
Good carry.
Stefan. That was offloaded by Franco. Italy passing around a very tight space there. There's Locatelli.
Look how narrow Ireland are now around the ruck.
Rigoni bounces kindly for Duca.
You could see what she was trying to do. There was space in there behind Ireland, just off her wrong foot.
Rigoni. O'Brien. O'Brien being knocked on.
Yeah, option.
Well, Ireland are trying, but it's just not quite happening.
No, and you know what? There's the harsh lessons where you can try that in different scenarios and different test games, but when you're trying to keep the ball, when you've that much possession and you really need to keep it for the next 20 minutes if you want to stay in this game, you can't be doing offloads like that. And look, Ireland aren't the only team. Italy they're equally as guilty for that.
Time is off.
I will say some of the chop tackling today has been exceptional.
Sam Monaghan.
My fear now, looking back at the last two kind of defensive rucks for Ireland, is they're extremely narrow, and the fact that it starts the game when we look to the Italians, they're well able to pass that ball wide. So one pass can take out 2, 3, 4 Irish players, which is not what we want to see.
Ireland making a change. Behan going off.
I assume Maeve Deely now will go to fullback and possibly Lauren Delaney to the wing, I would think.
And we resume with an Italian scrum. Behan, the 23-year-old who plays for Blackrock College and Leinster. From Wexford, of course. Her day is done.
Has been on recent World Series there with the Sevens as well, so she's plenty of rugby in the bank throughout this calendar year.
Crouch!
Stefan
Bind!
about to feed.
Set!
Stefan feeds. Franco got to Stefan. Rigoni. Silari. Silari showing her power there. We've seen her craft there. We saw her raw muscle.
Advantage. Side and three,
Stefan. Medea taken on by Locatelli. Locatelli has found Musso.
No advantage. 7.
I think Grace Moore has been pinged, so we will come back. Italy had an advantage
Side
there.
and three.
And if I'm honest, yeah, okay, you can see it. But the thing about rugby is if Ireland can get people on feet, you will actually get a much easier turnover, and legally in phases 3, 4, 5, 6. That's when you want to be, because that's when teams will run out of numbers. And the Italians are looking tired. But it looks like they're possibly going to take 3 points here, are they?
They'll certainly go for it. Most likely Silari to kick it. She's kicked well today.
And I suppose we'll come back to Ireland before half-time. There's key moments in matches where you just have to psychologically take those 3 points to actually just keep the, I suppose, for the want of a better description, like your foot on the opposition's throat, and that's what you want to do. Like, because now it's an even further distance for Ireland to try to go back into this game as time ticks over.
It has the distance and accuracy, and Italy make it 17 points to 0. It's hard to see any way back for Ireland from here.
No, and as much as I've given out about the frustration of the Italians' game management when the ball is in play, I think that's a really, really smart move for them.
Time off. We don't have a ball.
And now they're making another change.
Medea is coming off there.
Stefanen is in. The 4th cap for her. Plays for
Time off.
Valzugana Padova. Monaghan, what a take that is.
She was playing goals for Meads, you'd know from that catch.
Worked with Eamon Murray and several of the players who went on to win at All-Ireland senior level. Scuffle McCabe. Monaghan's the option. Good offload. Stoyle. Moore protects it. Nicola Ward gets there, Scuffle McCabe. Can they find something to spark them into life? That was Buggy who carried, now it's Jugang. Scuffle McCabe, O'Brien. Penalty Ireland.
Referee's been inconsistent for me today, unfortunately. I won't be popular with that now. I'll give it to her. That was the right call. I apologise.
You can admit when you're wrong.
I
like
will.
that.
That's usually, yeah. No, very wrong there. It's a great call.
Monaghan again showing well for Ireland and not backing down. She will never hide.
No, and I will give it that thankfully we've seen a lot more of the Sam Monaghan we're used to today. But look, they work rate. The Italians, 17 tackles, all in double figures there, 5 of them. They're working really, really hard. And I think that's, again, comes back to professional contracts, time together, like just the rate at that repeatability, the rate at which they can continue that repeatability is exceptional.
You've been in many of those kind of on-pitch meetings. What do you think is being said there right now?
I would hope that we said, you know, don't succumb to the Italian pressure and want to play at their speeds. There's 15 minutes now. If they can keep possession, they do put Italy under pressure. Ireland have put some really good phases together, but it has been I suppose the story of their championship so far is that they have turned over ball in key areas with poor decisions, and that's okay. That's a team in transition and a team learning, and once you're learning from those mistakes, that's when you start to improve.
If Ireland are to have a chance, they need to score very soon. O'Brien kicking for the line, kicking for territory.
We would want to convert a try, I would think, in the next 5 minutes without putting any pressure on, and that gives 10 minutes where you can, it still gives you enough time to level the score at least.
That was Maeve O'Leary watching on, not in the matchday squad today. Maybe can consider herself unfortunate. Here's Grace Moore going off, being replaced by Hannah O'Connor.
Hannah O'Connor, another experienced player. Another option in the line out. She captained Blackrock, you know, AIL champions this year, so we'll bring a lot to this squad now, and a good time to bring her on as well.
Here comes Ireland's maul, and it's looking good. Friday took it in the line out, set it up. Jugang carried. Scuffle McCabe giving the directions. They're inching forward, gaining ground.
This is really good. Keep it going.
If it's working, keep doing it. It is working. Advantage for Ireland. That's good. Scuffle McCabe wants the ball. They want to play it. Penalty.
Now, can Ireland right the wrongs from the same position before the half?
Just be careful. Faites attention sur les mauls, à l'écroulement, d'accord? Faut pas amener au sol. Just be careful on collapsing in the maul.
Couple of things for me here. If Ireland are only going to make gain of a blade of grass, then keep that ball. The Italians now have been spoken to again. They're under pressure. They're on the back foot. They're tired. A yellow card here would really help Ireland's cause if they can continue to keep the ball and pile pressure on them.
O'Connor kicked for the corner. Ireland 5 metres out. Friday slipped through her fingers. She was unlucky, but we are coming back.
First knock on by Ireland.
No, the first is back.
Okay, that's good for Ireland.
Number 3. Time off.
Italy making a change. Guy heading off and Sei coming in. Maybe that changes in reaction to that last maul. A scrum to come.
I've played against Lucia Guy, and she's, you know, nothing fancy about her. Does her exceptional in the scrum, does her job at line out. Very reliable player, very experienced, and has put in a really good shift there now with Toyhead with nearly come up to 70 minutes, so fair play to her.
So the ball slipped away from Friday there, but she did knock it backwards. The Italians knocked it on when they retrieved it, so that's why we have this scrum. Scuffle McCabe.
Really good scrum by Ireland.
Tana O'Connor, I think, with some good footwork at the back. It goes a little bit loose.
Penalty
It is
try.
a penalty try. Italy had been spoken to on numerous occasions by the referee. They knew the danger of infringing at scrum time there. They did, and Ireland get the try. It's a penalty try, and of course you get the full 7. You no longer need to kick the conversion.
Yeah. Time off. Substitution.
Should it be a yellow card as well, Lindsay?
Yeah, you would think so, because it looks like if she's calling the penalty try, then it's a deliberate collapsing of the scrum, which should come in hand in hand with a yellow card for me.
Okay. Time on.
But look, Ireland, we said we wanted to convert a try before 70 minutes, Oisin, and they must be listening to us, because they put themselves now in the best position they can in the next 10 minutes.
Ireland's, sorry, go ahead.
No, let's just see how Italy respond and how Ireland can build on this.
Ireland's second try of the tournament. Can they get a third? It's very easy. Oh, penalty for Italy. I was about to say it's very easy to save from the commentary position, but kick into the corner and mould them. But you can only do that if you get territory and possession, and don't give penalties away in your own territory.
Yeah, and look, it's again, you don't want to keep harping on that it's the time, but look, I've just noticed in the tournament, like the basics are done a lot quicker now. The decision making by players are done a lot quicker, and that's the pluses of the time together and the quarterfinals of a World Cup. And my game understanding probably didn't come. I probably understand the game more now than I did, you know, when I play. But when you're in the heat of the moment trying to make those decisions, it's very hard.
Vicchini. Comes back to Vicchini.
Okay, advantage. Knock on.
Vicchini must have a 4-leaf clover in her sock, and she's been extremely lucky with some of the results of some poor line-out thrown, if I'm honest.
Franco from Baratin.
No hand. No rack. No hand.
Italy trying to quell this Irish uprising. Baratin will try and find a way through. Can they find one? Baratin.
This is good for Italy. Sarah Barton has over, I think, 108 caps, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 106. So she's extremely experienced, and she will now be the general that will direct her Italian team to what you would think would be a victory now if she can keep them going, keep ball in hand, and manage that game for them.
Baratin. It's actually slightly north of 106. Today's her 114th.
Wow,
Ireland
I
will hope
apologise.
You were close enough. The point you were making is that she's very experienced, and she's showing that. Italy carry it through Federici.
And you can see her there. She's directing her team. She's looking. She's surveying.
Locatelli was the target. It's a miscue. Hacked on. Scuffle McCabe just pushing Italy that bit further back.
Well, look, anything to get an opposition away from your try line, and that's good by Molly. Just get the ball out. It doesn't matter how you do it. Kind of like an old centre half, isn't it? Just kick it out as far as you can.
They can't score from Rosette.
Exactly. I suppose I questioned this with you at the start of the game, Oisin. Why was Sarah Barton on the bench? And my thinking on this was the fact that she was going to come on. You know, was Giovanni Ranieri thinking that if they're ahead, it's going to be a close game, bring Sarah Barton on and manage that game and close it out? And that's, I think, what we're seeing here now. What another shift by Niamh Jones.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff from her. So Nielsen is in, the 30-year-old who plays a rugby with Exeter Chiefs. Has represented England in the past.
Funny enough, I clean Maloney's club there, you know. Hopefully one time we might see her back in an Ireland jersey.
Bikini. Hannah O'Connor, you could see the determination in her face after the penalty try they scored. Now they have soaked up the pressure, they haven't conceded, and now they have the chance to put a bit of pressure on Italy here. The bounce for Stefan. To Inca.
Still full of running at 72 minutes.
Baratin, helped on by Stefano. Italy kick in behind. Ireland sweep it and get possession of the ball. Monaghan. Scuffle McCabe. Hannah O'Connor gains ground.
Good clear out there.
Scuffle McCabe. Ireland have runners ready, but Italy come right up.
Yeah, so what we'd call is that is a soft defence, you know, so they're coming up and out, so they're able to cover all our Irish options, and they've done that very well.
There was a fumble from Hogan, but it was backwards, so it's okay. Nicola Ward shows a good burst. Nicola Ward still going. Has support with her in the form of Scuffle McCabe. More arrives through Hannah O'Connor.
No, it's over, Blue! Blue, over.
Penalty Ireland.
Four.
Lindsay, I think I speak for you when I say kick to the corner, go for the maul, set it up.
Absolutely. I think our telepathy is finally kicking in.
Time off.
For all the improvements I've seen in Italy, the one thing is their discipline, and I can't understand it at the breakdown. If one thing I've learned, the easiest thing on a ruck like that, if you're unsure, is just actually take the space, because what you do is make an easier decision for the referee and your teammates to come in and pick that ball. So it just gives the easy decision to the referee. But now they're falling on a ball, they're not rolling away quick enough, and they're poor errors by the Italians, in my opinion.
Rigoni down getting some treatment.
Handing.
O'Brien.
It'll be the first line out, though, if I'm not mistaken, with change of hooker, so no pressure on Clara.
You here.
Well, that's why she's been brought in, both to the game and the squad. The 30-year-old has plenty of experience. Friday.
Nice throw.
Maul formed.
5 is inside.
Ireland pushing the Italians back, veering towards that line, which they don't want.
Yeah. So unfortunately what happened there, for anyone looking, is because the maul split and the Italians stayed bound, they were able to latch onto the ball, and when it collapsed, then obviously it did because Ireland collapsed it, then they gave away the penalty.
No, she's inside, so...
I'll give Nicola Friday one thing: she hasn't given the referee an inch. You know, she's really fought for her team and questioned her in every turn, which is brilliant by her, because when an opposition is so ill-disciplined like that, you need to keep honing in and try and get every advantage you can.
Scrum for Italy.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Italy going backwards. Baratin gets it. Rigoni. Scuffle McCabe was there to meet her. I imagine from the Italian point of view, they just want to kick it clear, but
19 back.
they don't always kind of go with the percentage plays. They often play it.
Yes.
No, they don't really stick to script now, let's be honest. But really good kick by Baratin, and again, it's going to get it as far away from your try line as you can, so they've just bought themselves a bit of time.
Delaney. That's a good surge by Delaney. Scuffle McCabe. Jugang. Jugang still going. Brittany Hogan latched on and did her part there. Scuffle McCabe. O'Brien was waiting. Comes to O'Brien. Good hands. Dalton.
Ireland did well there, because I think it was Inca, was it, on the ball there?
Hogan. Scuffle McCabe. Sam Monaghan offloads to Jugang. Scuffle McCabe. O'Brien has Delaney there. Goes to Delaney. Scuffle McCabe. Monaghan. Monaghan offloads. Taken well by Nielsen. Scuffle McCabe to the narrow side of Friday. Bounced kindly. Nick Ward. Trying to crash through his buggy.
Yeah.
Penalty for Italy.
And that's the experience of Barton. They just wait and wait. We spoke about this. The easier turnovers are when teams go through phases and start running out of numbers when tiredness sets in. Player of the match there, Alicia Dinka. And she's been lively all day and she's been dangerous throughout, so deserving.
Well, you feel that if Ireland had any chance here, they had to score from that attack.
It's frustrating, but it is an area that has been consistent throughout this championship is turnovers. You have to look after your own ball all the time.
This is Dianca's try. What a finish. What a player.
And she only is back after injury, after missing the England game, if memory serves me right. So
Yeah.
she looks sharp.
14. Yeah. 14.
Ireland making another change. Vicky Ann Irwin coming in.
Aoife Dalton has been exceptional today. She's had some great running lines. She's really worked hard. She's been standout.
Bikini. It's an unusual one, but it works. Italy on the break again. Can they get away? Barreton stepping back inside wonderfully well there. Turning into a scrum half was Duca. And that is Maris. Gets it away well. Barreton there again. Trying to drive on as Sai. Rigoni. Rigoni with the kick. Falls kindly for Tinka, who's in for her second. And that is the cherry on top for Italy.
Wow.
Rigoni with a delicious kick. Inca with a really good take. And the Inca taking advantage of perhaps some tired Irish defenders, but it was still a wonderful, wonderful finish.
And that's with her weaker left foot.
Just drifted inside Delaney. Not much the fullback could do.
No, and I think Aoife Doyle, to be very fair to her, thought there was a little bit more torque on that kick, and she thought she had it covered, but it just fell so kindly to the Inca. And you know, it can always be the bounce of a rugby ball, but sometimes it's the flight of a rugby ball. It's so unpredictable. It's very hard to do, Usheen, at 78 minutes for Beatrice Rigoni to keep her head, keep her eyes up and look and see and pick holes that aren't just orthodox going through phases. It's a weaker left foot, and you know, I've seen the likes of Dupont and exceptional players, both mentally and then being able to just carry that through physically, to execute the skill like is sublime, and it's lovely to see. And I think she's carried in her, she was tipped as one of the stars in this Italian team, and she's lived up to that. She's been a real playmaker today for them.
We could watch that movement all day.
And look, we said it, when the Italians are good and when they can put off and when they can put phases and keep it and make consistent good decisions, they are dangerous. They're infuriating, but they are dangerous, you know, and they've been probably value for their win today, if we're honest. But that doesn't take away from some exceptional work rates, some really good phases by Ireland. The maul has been exceptional. You would see that for the likes of France and England, so they need to hold their head up high with that.
Well, Dianca had already been awarded player of the match before she scored her second of the day, her third of the tournament. Not bad considering, as you say, she missed one of the games.
Yes.
That was against England. The try came against France. Here's O'Brien. Can Ireland get a second try? Friday. scuffle McCabe. O'Brien. That's loose. Rigoni.
Knock on.
He's knocked on. And that is the game. Lindsay, Italy deserving winners.
They are, if I'm honest. You know, they took their chances when it opened up to them, and when they could put it together, they really punished Ireland. When Ireland had opportunity before that half-time, we obviously questioned ourselves, would you take the three, would you go for the try? And when you make those decisions and they don't come off, like a different game, I think, ushering in the start of the second half, if Ireland had gone in with a converted try.
England on top, Ireland at the bottom, Italy in fourth position, Wales and France in the second and third. Of course, Scotland and France play each other this weekend. And that is how the table looks in the TikTok Six Nations. Italy with 3 tries, Ireland with 1. Italy, I think it's fair to say, as Lindsay has said, deserving winners. They come up with some good backline moves today and took advantage of the gaps that opened up for them. But of course, they opened those gaps themselves. They didn't just get the invite in.